That's one more subscription to the Cat and Cloud Coffee Podcast. My name's Jared Truby, and I have the sexiest voice around. Did you know that we have mini episodes? Dude, I want that.
What? I went Rocky with it.
Oh, is that the Rocky song? But there's more to it.
Bill
I used to have the wax on that.
the wax. I got it on wax, dude.
I waxed it.
Vinyl. I got it on vinyl, bro.
Look at all these stars.
I really want.
Look at all these stars.
Do you have stars in your eyes? We have.
Why you want to go
too,
and get stars in your eyes?
on our podcast?
The Love
reviews.
Trout gave us some love on August 2015.
What is the newest comment on
I don't
our
know.
podcast?
It's
It's probably
weird.
very old.
You have to go-
2015.
Yeah, you have to go way back.
Wow, we've been doing this for a
way
while.
back. We are old school.
I want to get into some listener mail that we don't have.
Actually, I have one I saved. I have to go
Yeah?
back through my computer door. Yeah. Oh, let's see what the most recent one is.
Yeah.
We're okay.
Shouldn't it put the most recent one at the top?
I love these guys. I learned something new every podcast, and I feel encouraged in my coffee journey.
Wow.
Yes.
Coffee enthusiasts unite!
Unite.
A 5-star review.
Dude, for the person who doesn't have a friend to share their passions for coffee, this podcast helped me feel not so alone. Oh, yeah, girl. New barista. Okay, here I go. Oh, the Business Ethics Podcast.
Business ethics.
Business Ethics.
I choose.
Okay,
Business
it's going to take me a second to go back through. Hey, welcome to the Cat and Cloud Coffee Podcast. I'm signing on from Chris Baca's house, just down the street from the Portola location, 3600. Go on down, get yourself some beans. Chris Baca here on my side. What up, dog?
There's a microwave. There's an oven.
Microwave.
It's cool, man.
It is cool, man.
I've been looking at IKEA for the past 2 days.
Because you're doing
Because
a
I'm
thing.
moving next door, just next door, and I'm very excited because it'll be the first time we've had a extra bedroom in probably 6 or 7 years. We've had this run of tiny houses, but Jenny gets to do whatever she wants to the rest of the house, which is probably nothing, and I get a room, and we can podcast from the room. We can have a table that's set up, and we can just have a cool little scene.
It's going to be so
It's
sick.
going to be neat.
He's going to have himself a space.
Going to have a moment of zen. You can come on and enjoy it with us.
All right.
Can't wait.
I can't find it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that happens a lot with our... I guess I have to be here because
I
there's a
think
video. I forgot about that.
That's
Let me just
okay.
move my chair over. This would help a lot.
Yeah.
This is what happens with our podcast email, and it happens a lot, and I sort of always don't know how to respond, is that everybody
Okay.
is passionate,
Yes,
and everybody wants to get into the coffee industry,
that's correct.
and then they hit us up, and they're like, what are the resources you use
None.
at... Yeah, and then that's my problem. Because they're like wherever they are. There's like 17,000 of these things where it's like I'm in Florida and I work 6 days a week and I'm trying to break into the coffee industry. And what's your advice for me learning? Like I want to learn barista skills and and I want to open up my own shop. And there's literally hundreds of these emails coming to us.
A lot.
And you don't know how to answer it because a lot of it comes from just starting and experiencing things for a while and then making your own decisions. And there's so many learning pathways that I feel bad because I just don't respond.
I just don't.
Well, and it's partially
just don't
because
respond.
I know how to respond in the context of what you and I did, and that's not going to work for everyone. But there are a lot of truths to the things we've learned along the way that we share on all these podcasts over the last, turns out 2 years now, which is gnarly.
That's pretty gnarly.
You know, but then it's like, okay, so what do you say to somebody like that? It's like, all right, is it worth it for you to go to SCA? Yes and no for opening a business. Yes, because you're going to get connections and learn a little bit and see what people are about. But then you're like, but you need to study what people are doing and interested in your general area and demographic and your local community, because that's far more important than what anybody in SCA gives a crap about at all.
But then how do you account for that energy that you get that keeps
Exactly.
you going? And you're like, oh my God, I'm psyched. And I'm not just one person. There's a community of people like me. And we're all going for the same thing. And that makes me feel really cool. And now I have someone that I can, email or text on the
Right.
weekend and be like, dude, what's cracking in freaking North Carolina?
Which is helpful.
Which is awesome.
Majorly helpful
Yeah.
in the beginning stages, especially.
For sure. Even if nothing more for than your mental state.
Right.
To just feel like you're not on this island trying to open a business.
Well, and then I guess one of the things that might be extremely helpful is deciding, are you going to want to lead your business, or do you just have a passion to be doing the business? And that's like a pretty big question.
Do the business.
Yeah,
Do
because
the
like
business.
some people think they want to open up a shop, say they're like maybe more of the chef mentality. That's not maybe a bad way to say this, but the idea of you just want to be the operator of the espresso machine.
Like a restaurant manager? Or?
No, more like you want to be like the cook. You
Oh,
want,
like
in-
you
in the-
actually want.
You want to.
Okay.
I love coffee. I
Right.
want to make coffee.
I'm going to be
for
a
people.
barista.
I'm going to start my own company so I can be a barista for my own company and do what I want to do and give people an awesome experience. And while that's all really awesome, there's so much more to the business than that. And
A
so,
lot more.
do you? Yeah. Does that mean actually that you're maybe not interested in managing and leading a team? You're more interested in being like the creator of the experience and then just doing it. In that case, you have to know that. It's just, I have so many questions for people like this that I'm like, I don't really have a good answer for you.
There's also a couple different ways that this question gets phrased. So sometimes we'll get the question of, I want to open my own shop. What do I do? But then another question that we get a lot is, you've had a really cool career in coffee. How do I have a career in coffee?
Yeah.
And does that mean shop owner, or does that mean you work for someone else and you just end up at this high level, like, I don't know, like a Michael Phillips,
Right.
or something, who doesn't own his own place, but he has his
He got
career
there.
in coffee,
Right.
Right. Heather Perry has a career in well, I guess she family owned,
Right. But it's,
Yeah.
and totally, that's another way in. But I mean,
but
even
she's
Michael-
not like a standalone business
Totally.
owner.
That's different. So then there's like the Michael Phillips story is obviously we're from the outside looking in. Never worked with the guy. Reputation's good. Really good trainer.
Good dancer,
Great dancer.
Great hair.
Great looking dude. Rides
nice
a
salt and
motorcycle.
pepper,
Yeah, just like bringing
American
the heat,
heartthrob.
positive vibes.
Yeah, can't get enough.
So, but it's weird because, and this is definitely not to take away from Phillips, but his past has made his future. I'm a world barista champion.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag kind of thank you, or actually, according to his story, maybe not thank you Intelligentsia at first, then thank you Intelligentsia later, right? Because he didn't get to go. He paid his own way. Heartthrob story times a million.
Right.
But
I'm going to do it for me.
right, and I believe in myself and Ron Burgundy, and everybody has a bad day actually in competition. So he crushed it and did his thing. But that arguably was the
Does that work anymore?
yeah, exactly, like that probably doesn't
I don't think it
work
does.
as well anymore.
Not at least not at the national level. I don't think you could win the USBC and have that be the catalyst for a successful coffee career. Worlds now, like I guess we're talking worlds,
Right.
maybe depending on what you wanted to do. Although I feel like the natural trend of things was to do really well in the nationals, do really well in the worlds, and then spur off this big, huge consulting career.
Right.
But even that market seems like it's getting so much more saturated now.
Yeah.
There's just more information out there. So the one world champion doesn't have a monopoly on like how to do things right.
Totally.
And more people are starting to see that let's say you win the WBC, all that means is that you have the very specific skill set that it takes to win the WBC.
Which
not
is-
not
yeah.
that that's not hard. Like fuck.
No,
Like,
it's
we never
majorly
won
hard.
the WBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's next level shit.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm jealous for sure. But there's other thing, like
Well, yeah, and then you come out of there, and it's like, do you even want to be a consultant, or did you just want to win the WBC, and now you're trying to find a way to make money on it, and now you have to like tangent yourself into this thing that you're actually not even passionate about, except for coffee, maybe.
right.
Or
I guess I got to go here.
yeah, it'd be interesting to talk because I think it's not a fallback, but Michael Phillips had all this training knowledge and the ability to train people, so he had all that underneath his repertoire the whole time, so he could go there, and he continues to be a trainer.
Right. He was an educator before he was
Right.
a champion.
And then there's Pete, who is an educator, but he's also not necessarily like a trainer in the context of barista flow in the context of a busy cafe. He's more of like a professional trainer and taster, and he teaches the skills of making coffee the best it can be, and also specifically competition. He's epically good at competition. And so he leaves and he kind of has to go in a different route than somebody like Michael Phillips. And then there's Raul, and he was a past guest. He was the world champion. He owns a cafe in Guatemala that we've been to. He came out of the thing and he's like, nobody told me what to do afterwards, and I had to figure it out for myself. Which maybe is common sense to somebody listening to this, but it's not, because you get all of this attention and then you win and you still get attention, but then you have to figure it all out for yourself. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, so I'm a barista and now I have to utilize this world championship win. Everybody's hitting me up. And now I have to be a business person in order for this to be lucrative. And I don't even know what the hell that means. And where do I want to be?
You really have to be in it to win it, because to make it work, you have to have champion's mindset, to where 6 months before you even start competing, you have to be like, I'm going to win.
Right.
And when I win, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to set these things in process now, and have to deal with the fact that maybe I won't win. And all this is, quote unquote, a waste of time.
Wasn't that gnarly?
Because, yeah, it's super gnarly.
Yeah.
But I think at that level, that's what you have to plan for.
Well,
if you want to be a serious contender.
And then
or
you have
capitalize
coaches
on that
too.
Yeah.
You have people helping you along the whole way, and then you win, and those people aren't there to help you make decisions after that. You're like, cool, I won. Thanks for all the help. Everybody's sick. Now I'm going to, with the exception of, I guess Pete has Holly. Him and Holly have been working together, and she's been a really good coach and help to him the whole time. But you know what I'm saying? There's like
friend.
Great friend, great pal, great amigo, amiga.
Yeah.
So all that to say, I don't know how to answer people's question with how do I break into the industry and how do I...
Well, you just answered it right there. That's that's one way you could do it.
World
win
Barista
the
Champion.
WBC. Yeah, just there you go.
Start there. Fresh out the
Take
gates.
it from the top. I mean,
Totally.
It's a proven track record that maybe doesn't work anymore, and it's super easy and attainable.
It's
So
a Cinderella story.
you might as well throw your hat in the ring and see what happens. Well,
gosh, you
okay.
gotta do the work.
Bye-bye.
And it's a long grind to get into coffee.
okay, here's the other thing. I don't answer those emails either, but for a different reason than you mentioned. And it's because I don't want to bring people down. And it's
Same.
And it's this story that, because I'm like, oh, someday I want to open a skate shop. It's just like a dream to have a little boutique skate shop where people can come chill and like probably has coffee too, and you can hang out. And if you read interviews on even the biggest and best like independent skate shops, one of the questions is usually, what advice do you have for people opening up their own skate shop? And 9 out of 10 times the answer is don't do it.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't work. You have to be insane to want to do it because of the way retail's going, and it's so challenging to compete against the big box stores and people who buy online. And coffee's kind of the same way, in that to have a coffee shop that really works and really can provide you with a career and provide you with some sort of livelihood, not to mention all the people that work for you, that's way more challenging to do than it seems. And it takes way more time than it seems like it should. And it takes like 1,000 other things than just knowing how to make coffee well. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, if we
for
weren't
most
so neurotic
people.
over the years and consistently kind of dissecting what was happening and why, it would have been
You have to
quite
be
a bit
out of your
harder.
mind.
And then also Charles with the assistance of Charles putting together the monetary spreadsheets for the banks and things. It's like it's a lot of work, and we have 3 minds that came together to make this thing happen. So, okay, first line of advice: don't do it by yourself ever. That's actually true. I 100% believe that. Never, ever, ever open a business alone.
There's a lot of things you could do by yourself, but coffee shop's probably not the best idea.
And then if you're going to open a business of any kind, do it, of any kind, of a lot of kinds. Do it with a partner, but make sure that you're majorly aligned with the long-term vision before you start at least like the major parts of it, and then allow for those creative spaces still to happen. And then after that, it's a grind. Read the books, listen to the podcasts, go to the classes, practice, fail.
It's there's no template. It's a learn by doing, just like anything else. Like we could tell you exactly what to do, which would be helpful. Well, maybe not helpful so much in of your own journey, but once you make the commitment and you say like, oh, okay, I have a staff. What's not working? How do I tweak this?
Right.
I feel like we have a lot of value in that arena.
Mm-hmm.
But the journey to get there, like the journey to kind of prepare your brain to be the insane kind of person that it takes to want to have this is, I don't even know how I would start to tell someone how to do that.
Well, I think we're both maybe lucky that while we do have fears of failure, we're also not afraid to fail in the process of like persevering for something that we know will work. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get held up by being afraid that won't work.
Oh, we screw up all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, there's so many different people in podcasts who talk about the fear of failure and how you can't be like failing at something is just a learning roadblock on the way, and we've talked about that a lot. But I think a lot of people might not start because of the fear of failure. So, you can Moana them. There's a line where the sky meets
What does
the
that
sea,
mean?
dude, and it calls me. If you know exactly, like if you have like such a deep passion that you can't stop thinking about something,
Right.
you need to figure out how to pursue that and don't just like let it go because you're afraid it won't work. Because I think it will work if you persevere, and it might just work differently than maybe you originally anticipated, but you got to start and you got to persevere and you got to keep moving.
And worst case scenario, you start and then you realize halfway through your journey that's like, actually, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm not into this. It's not what I thought it was going to be. And then you can just kind of take that mental energy and be like, all right, that's cool. I tried that. You probably learned something that you can apply to something else.
You can definitely, there's no doubt in my mind you will have learned a lot on that journey, and then you will be all the wiser to do what maybe you were meant to do.
For
And
sure.
That's,
Everything that I've screwed up on, I learned a lot.
yeah, there's so much opportunity and knowledge to be gained there. And then just always be a student.
It's so weird how some lessons don't come back to you for like years.
Yeah. You'll like have something happen. You'll be like, oh, I can do it this way because of that thing I remember that messed me up back
Yep.
in the thing and the stuff.
Yeah.
Don't
and
do that again.
It's almost like a weird enlightenment to where it's just like you're just straight woke. There's no other way around it. You're just like, oh my God, why didn't I know that then?
Right.
It's so annoying to be growing and progressing because wherever you get to, at least for me, I'm like, okay, cool. Like every day I'm like, oh man, I think I got it kind of figured out. Like I'm doing pretty good. Like this is where I'm at. I'm here. This is great. Like 2 years ago, I was like an idiot. Now I'm vibing, but I know that next year it's just going to be the same thing. And then the
just
same thing.
always
And then
the
the same
same
thing.
There's no way that
And you're like never going to tap out in your potential. You're just on this like ride.
yeah.
You're foop, and you got to be cool with it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm consistently behind the 8 ball of where I'd like to be,
Yeah.
but I'm exponentially better than I was
But
5
you
years
keep
ago.
moving.
So
yeah.
it's something that it's like definitely that juxtaposition of like, it's like breathing. You're like, oh, I'm doing really good. Oh, I'm not doing really good. It like comes in waves like that. It's amazing. But I think it's a circle of life.
It's the circle
Moves us fully.
of life.
Actually, I do want to I'm going to close the loop on this with like kind of a call to action though for Santa Barbara area.
Oh, jeez.
So Santa Barbara is
Holy
fucked.
shit.
Montecito is fucked. We have a lot of friends who are down there. Both Chris and I personally worked for Dune and Castle and the French
Wow.
Press. And currently, Todd and Julia are taking a boat to work because they can't drive on their freeway. It's been a nightmare for them. So anybody out there who is listening, buy coffee.
Go get some Dune
from
coffee.
their website, dunecoffee.com, I think.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Dune Coffee Roasters. That's why I felt
Yeah.
weird saying that. I was like, there's something wrong with that statement. Go there, buy some coffee from them, and then if you're going to donate, due to I want it. It's for
You find
Direct Relief. That's the one.
Direct relief.
Yeah, donate to Direct Relief for Montecito.
If you're not up on the game, there were some of the worst fires.
The worst
forest
in California
fires
history.
in California history, followed immediately by the most fucking gnarly mudslide ever. That's not just like, oh, some mud fell off the road. It's like, no, people are dying. They're like,
There's like 10 feet of mud on like a river took over Highway 101, which is one of the two
crazy,
main ways down to LA. Highway 101 is closed indefinitely because there's more than 10 feet of mud and debris blocking the drains on it. It says they're going to, until they figure out how to get it to drain, that's an issue. And then after that, it's going to take more than 100 trucks to just clear it. And then they have to rebuild it. It's like,
it's kind of wild.
It's
It's
gnarly.
super wild.
It's about as bad as they can get.
And the back-to-back thing is just fucking
right.
nuts.
So they had smoke in the air forever. There was no business for pretty much. December is one of the busiest times for businesses typically, and it was pretty much wiped out completely for Dune and French Press, and then all the other businesses as well.
Smoke was from all the old houses. There's like lead and asbestos.
Yeah,
and just
they couldn't
all
go
kinds
outside.
of shit flying through the air.
People didn't even live there for like a month, and then this happened, and there's like 20-ish casualties, and still people missing, and all these people lost their homes. So
Scary.
if you're in and around and can get money in some way to help Santa Barbara, and especially our friends at French Press and Dune, you should just do it. Nike that thing. Have a heart.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week.
I got to go to a surgery consultation for my bunion.
Yeah, remember that bunionectomy?
Bunionectomy?
It's going down.
I'm getting it assessed today. He's going to look at my foot and say, that thing's ugly as fuck. What
And
have you been doing with that?
Then he's going to bone saw it off.
He's gonna bone
Maybe he'll do
saw.
it just today and surprise you.
He's all, let's just go in right now. Let's just cut this thing off.
6 little drill marks and a
What if
karate
he put
chop.
me on like a table saw and he's just all,
I think
like a
that's
chop
pretty much
saw.
what they're going to do to you. But you'll be fine. You'll be on so many drugs. You'll be like, whoa, man.
I remember waking up when I was having my Achilles repaired because I get really sick and barf everywhere when they put me under general anesthesia.
Oh, because you get all dizzy and weird in your equilibrium.
I just like wake up and just immediately start hurling and I'm sick for days. So when I did my Achilles, they gave me like a local in my foot, a spinal tap, and then something else. So basically, like, I got really drowsy, but I wasn't asleep, and the lower half of my body, I just couldn't feel it. And I remember lying on the table and just, like, kind of waking up and hearing people talk, and, like, I couldn't feel anything, but it was so weird and, like, kind of scary, but also I was on drugs, so relaxed, and I was like, this is like a dream.
Your foot, you're about to, like, lose a part of you. In a good
I know.
way, though.
I'm going to ask him if I can keep it.
You should hold the bunion clear. Although it's probably going to rot and smell like flesh.
But I'll put it.
No, it's a bone.
It's a bone, though. So you just clean it and you can
Put it
just,
in some
like, put it on
alcohol.
your wall.
Bone wall. The series coming soon.
Well, that brings the end of this episode of the Cat and Cloud podcast. Thanks for listening.
And thank you.